Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming podcast. I am your host, Ben, and with me, as always, are my co hosts.
I'm Mike.
What up? It's Rick.
I'm just a lowly tarnished Matt.
Oh, so very tarnished. We have more
I'll be tarnished for months.
news in the lineup. We can't escape Elden Ring as it exists right now. It's too big. We'll just say right now, within a month, what was the number it was they were boasting? 12 million? Yeah.
12 million copies. Guess what? Dark Souls 3 hit 10 million after like 2 fucking years when it finally came to
it's
PC.
Some little indie company now.
And I mean
12 million in 3 weeks.
You start looking at like what that compares to. That's like Cyberpunk numbers. That's huge. That it's bigger. It's higher than Red Dead Redemption 2. No, sorry, I'm reading the chart wrong. It's higher than Skyrim, higher than Breath of the Wild, higher than GTA 4, which is a shocker. Like it's
still selling.
And it's still selling, and it's on a trajectory that, only the most popular like AAA rated games have really sold at before, which when you consider From's legacy at this point of being so difficult and unfriendly to new players, it's a testament. It's a testament to how great this game is and the word of mouth that players like me who hadn't been into From games have had spreading the word.
And there's also still plenty of From bullshit.
Of course.
Like, it's still there.
It is.
Like we've all died to the guy behind the door who backstabs you when you walk through.
Bastard.
We've all died to the trap that we set off that hits us from behind. We've all gone into the room and then got gangbanged by like the 12 skeletons who all come out of the crypt. Like it happens.
Bukaki.
The dogs.
Dogs. Oh my god.
The dogs are the worst.
I say before this becomes another Elden Ring episode, I talk about like it was timely today, like as of the day we're recording, the Mario Kart expansion dropped today, and I don't know, was I the only one able to test that out before we sat down to record?
I'm gonna test it out later, probably either today or tomorrow.
It comes with 8 tracks. In reality, obviously, what that means is 2 cups, and they are we've got a smattering of different courses. Most of them, coming from Tour. Paris Promenade, Tokyo Blur, and Ninja Hideaway.
From Tour?
Yeah, no, they wanted to bring some of the Mario Kart Tour.
I'm not even familiar with that. What is Mario Kart Tour?
Phone game, mobile
okay.
Mario Kart.
Duh.
Interesting.
Because Nintendo got really into mobile games for a little bit when Pokemon Go really took off. So they had like Mario Kart Tour. I think they had Mario Run was another one. Super Mario Run.
Is that just like a temple run with Mario?
Not really. Like it was think of a side-scrolling 2D Mario. He's always moving forward, so you're basically just tapping for jumping.
Yeah, that's new for Nintendo, right? Like their venture into officially licensed mobile games.
Yes, that was the new hotness for them at the time. Nintendo's had a few new hotnesses.
The new hotness.
Yeah, no, it's what we call, when they make a little transition for a second, they try something new. It was mobile games. They started doing some like third-party indie licenses. Cadence of Hyrule is a really fun indie game. With
I take by the title that's a rhythm game.
Yep, it's based on Crypt of the Necrodancer.
The Necrodancer
indie game. Yeah, it's a fun game.
That's a cool name.
Like you have to kind of just like watch a like clip of it to like get the idea. It's like it's still a game, but there's a rhythm aspect to it.
All right, so for the expansion, it's like when you download the new content, it's got like a full new tab showing all the new cups that are going to be part of the expansion. Only 2 of them are accessible.
Yeah.
All the other ones just say, it says like
Yeah,
should
grayed out.
be these should all be available by the end
Coming
of
soon.
2023. And so
We're
as
just,
it
like,
stands
edging
now,
you.
it costs like what? It's either you pay
$25,
yeah, $25, or it's part of the
Switch Online
expansion plus whatever.
And that's a total of $50. But that also includes the online, the emulators, and
Right.
what's it called?
And you get
the Animal Crossing DLC. So they're clearly putting DLC packages in the expansion pack.
all right. So like my thoughts are, after playing them, like they're pretty fun. Like they've got some good little track. Some are good, some are better than others. Like the standout ones for me are definitely Paris Promenade, because the music is fucking mwah, very nice. And
look out for the Comrades discussion on video game music.
oh that's gonna be in the works. But then the best one by far is Ninja Hideaway. There's so many, as the name kind of suggests, there's so many different routes to go, and I feel like I barely scratched the surface.
Those are some of my favorite courses
on the ways to go,
because there's like actual choice there.
People were like,
and not just
people were kind of bitching a little bit, like, oh, none of these courses have like the anti-grav thing, which the staple from Deluxe, where you hit the certain surface and your wheels turn over.
The wheels turn over.
It's all about like creating like the really cool 3-dimensional tracks. None of these have them, but then you've got
they're old legacy.
You got a
tracks.
track like Ninja Hideaway, where it's like doing 3 dimensions in a different way. There's a whole lot of branching there, so I like that one a lot.
Split paths going up and down. And
Tokyo Blur, absolute stinker.
Can you like, does it feel like some of these were designed to be played on a phone?
Tokyo Blur, the tour one, yeah, for sure. But then the other kind of basic ones, like Shroom Ridge and Sky Garden, those were 3DS and Game Boy Advance, respectively. The score editions have been really good. I like that. Some that, like I said, some of the tracks are fun. Some are just kind of meh. You get the 2 cups for, as it stands now, basically $25 if you're just going the basic route, with obviously the promise of more.
Yeah, what's it total?
There's going to be
12 total.
I think it's going to be doubling the total number of tracks.
Yeah, because I think it's 48 total tracks. So it's 12 total cups. Yeah, they're going to be like every 2 months or so. Seems to be the pace there.
But it's like, so for me, it's like, because of like what we're doing here is a big reason why I have Switch Online in the first place, which is made even more reasonable by what we're able to do by sharing the family pass that makes it cheaper.
Yeah. Don't let Nintendo
know. We're allowed to do that. We're
that's literally what they want. They want people to have the family pass.
We're literally we're within the bounds
of what we're allowed
to do.
It doesn't need to be a household. If it needed to be a household, they'd make you set the switches up in the same Wi-Fi.
Right. So I was expecting there to be some technical hiccups, but it worked fine. But yeah, so I happen to have that. We have that. It's reasonable that way.
With that, it only costs us the same price as the original Nintendo Switch Online for a year, which is just $20.
Yeah, so
which means we're getting the entire DLC for,
comparatively with what else that entails, next to nothing. But that's like a lot of hoops to jump through for
absolutely
something that's not.
It's knowing the hoops too, which we just outlined for some people. Have some friends.
Which is hard to do. Yeah, this is not financial or legal advice.
Not financial or legal advice. We did not advise you on how to commit a fraud.
It's not fraud. It's fine.
Yeah.
Wait, so I have a fundamental question about this. How does it download? Do you have to download something to get the new tracks?
You launch
it's DLC.
It now checks. It has to like check. Do you? It says something like, do you have checking to see if you have permission for this content?
Yeah, and that's because we have it through the
take that license away.
So does the $25, if you don't have the online,
that's how you just would get it baseline? Yeah. One time purchase
buy
patch
for all
you
of
get
it.
all. You're probably still it's probably still something limited to having an internet connection with how they are releasing them over time.
No, I figured that was the case. I have like one big gripe with Mario Kart, and that's that there's no incentive to like play solo. Like I wish you had an incentive to unlock tracks.
The incentive is
I enjoyed playing solo.
is to unlock the more racers or like more cars and stuff like that. But
and to get the 3 trophies on every cup.
Do you really want to be incentivized to grind out some more? Because if you do, Square Enix
get
the NFT
Mario. Let's talk about what you want, Andrew.
They got your answer for you. You would be one of the few people to actually enjoy the Chocobo Racing.
Now you have homework. Now I want you to play Chocobo Racing.
That just launched. You got to pay $50 for that base. It's not even like free to play or anything like that. It is effectively a mobile game, or it's even like you could even say it's like a live service game. It's like got a battle pass format,
but it's on mobile.
This is a
console. This is a PC console game.
Okay, I misunderstood that aspect of it. Got it.
And
you're thinking of Disney Grand Prix,
correct?
Also, not to be confused with the console, the PC console Disney Racer that's coming out that we've talked about on past episodes. But yeah, this thing is again fundamentally built from the ground up on mobile game microtransactions. And I could be wrong, but some of the developers may have been part of a mobile studio beforehand, which would obviously then make sense with what the end product was, but that might be incorrect. I could be confusing it with something else. I may be confusing it with I was just reading something about another topic we'll get to, the Portkey Games, the people behind the Hogwarts Legacy game. They were like a mobile studio before.
Lots of opinions.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was my brain was making too many connections, going too fast, 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Many synapses firing.
But this thing, it came out, and I'm surprised that there are fans of not to hate on anybody who was looking forward to doing some a kart clone with little birds and Final Fantasy characters.
If you were, go touch grass.
The poor Final Fantasy crowd just can't get a good chill spin-off.
Yeah, so now
they'll suck.
Yeah, people just want to go on a race and and play as Cloud, but now you got to grind for 500 hours to unlock him, as well as buying into the battle pass to do it.
Well,
you got to pay $50 and then also pay for the battle pass, and then you can grind to unlock Cloud and all this shit.
You don't need to pay for the battle pass. You can just play for 2,000 hours in a 1-week period.
So now, first off, let's just break down how the game is built. You do what you think. You pick your character, your cart or whatever. You race over the course of just completing races. You unlock new racers, levels, all that stuff. Yes, but also a bunch of different currencies and different types of shops. Where you purchase new carts, new outfits, other unlockables. So the two main currencies are Gil, the tickets you earn from playing the game itself, and then Mithril, which you can only get by spending real money.
Why is that always? I feel like Mithril something.
Well, it's a token.
That's also a Final Fantasy crystal.
Yeah, it's a token. The OG token inspiration,
and they're all just chuds for tokens.
They are literally like the libs with Harry Potter. It's the only thing that they've ever read, and can't read anything else after that.
There's only one book.
So then we get to the season pass or battle pass, whatever the fuck they call it. You purchase it with that in-game currency, the Mithril, which costs 800. Normally, Mithril packs sell for $10 for 1,000, but at launch you get 1,600 mithril for $8 or something, but then you also get a free 800 for logging on in the first season. So effectively the first season pass is free, but if you don't read the fine print, that complimentary 800 mithril expires if you don't use it within, I think, 5 months. The mithril you do pay for yourself.
So like you need a lawyer in order to play the game.
So people like, who were,
Your Honor, my client clearly did not read the fine print about his mithril expiring.
So I again astounded that there were people who were actually excited enough to be let down by this game. They
weren't let down.
No, they got pissed, and Square issued an apology, and talking about the adjustments that they're actually going to make, which are very few and far in between, are mostly technical glitches. They say something like, we've also heard many opinions about how additional DLC is implemented. We are considering the feedback seriously and putting all our efforts to make that we should provide future updates that satisfy blah blah blah.
Literally, we hear you, we see you.
But it's like, it's such bullshit, because again, this game was fundamentally built from the ground up on this principle. They're not going to abandon that core element now. So it's like it's
funny to me to think about it, because there's also a Gran Turismo 7, another racer that's currently undergoing the same types of issues, where a patch went out and all of a sudden it was like ridiculously grindy to do anything in the game, and it was like incentivizing buying instead of playing for it.
Yeah, so like they're not doing anything,
and they were like, we're sorry.
They're not doing anything. Nothing is mentioned about like eliminating like the pay to win stuff. It's just maybe tweaking the level of grind, or it was like toning down, but not eliminating pay to win. They were going to tweak it. They were going to pull it back.
If you can you can now go to the bathroom and still level up, a day or two at a time.
But yeah, if you want to play as Cloud, you either got to pay.
You want to play as Cloud wearing Aerith's dress, you're going to have to get some time and money in there.
Yeah. Like you're putting in 60 hours in Chocobo, man. Like, I feel bad for you.
I feel like with all of these games that introduce the double currency of like the pay to win currency and the regular like grind currency, I think of the Pokemon arcade or whatever, MOBA, whatever it was. Unite. Yeah.
Unite or Quest. There were two of them.
The most recent one, I'm pretty sure it's Unite.
Yeah.
And
the League of Legends clone.
Yeah, they made it really hard to you either had to like grind very hard, or people were just like dumping money in and like beating the first stage or whatever, and there's a big controversy, and then they put a patch in and like pull it back. So to me it's like they're just trying to see what they could get away with.
I was going to say, the fact that these companies keep doing the pull it back method means they know they're putting it on harder. Right. They're just waiting for people to push back so they can hit the button to pull it off.
No, because they get the initial suckers who like are like, yeah, I'll pay whatever I want, whatever you want.
They're just like Jones, and
they wake up from a Saturday night binge and they look at their bank account and there's like $4.99 charges like 72 times.
Yeah. But then, they get to, they just get to start the price high, and it's essentially just tailoring their price to each customer. They just, we'll lower it a little bit until you feel like it's worth your while.
And we see like that they're not going to face
we're gauging how much you think it's worth.
But they're not going to see any repercussions, from consumers or God forbid the actual authorities. Like, let's take a look at Take-Two. They're getting sued for their predatory microtransaction, their loot boxes. There was articles about, oh yeah, it's a big deal. Dude, they're suing them for $5 million.
I couldn't believe that.
The bucket.
Yeah, it's like, let alone what that means to just Take-Two's overall.
That's one bonus suite not going out for a year.
Like, let's talk about like the money that they got from those loot boxes.
Yeah, I can't even believe it's five. Like, the fact that it's 5 million.
Absurd.
That's astounding. That's astounding to begin with. But then the second fact that
that's not even the judgment.
UK isn't just like, here's the $5 million.
That's not even the judgment crazy. Too. That's just like what they're seeking.
Yeah, which is wild.
I've seen companies spend way more on way less.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
To put it in perspective, the FTC had their biggest fine was on Facebook for $5 billion, and it ended up like getting knocked down and lowered. So, and that was for like a ton of shit that Facebook was doing. So even if they were to go, the administrative route and get a fine that, if the government were to investigate and issue a fine, it's still going to be pennies compared to, what they earned from the predatory practices.
No, we've talked about it on earlier episodes. Like this model, like brings in, we're talking billions of dollars for individual companies.
Yeah.
This is nothing.
Yeah. Literally
this is
billions.
Nothing. Yeah. So like, Take-Two execs, they're fucking cackling.
I just think it's funny that a lawyer like advised them on like I don't understand. I don't know the process, Mike. You'll probably know better. But like, how did they get to that number? That $5 million number is
think
a joke.
I guess think about like the number of plaintiffs on the case. I guess it depends on what they can write, that they can determine that these particular clients are what they were taken for.
And like it has to be like a reasonable number, and
I hate that shit.
I would never
reasonable number. Fuck you.
Like, yeah, but
so
I still
low
don't know
because
why
they just didn't get
like,
enough people to jump in.
I mean, it all depends. I don't know enough about what the actual case is to be able to really say. But yeah, I think people need to ask for more and not be afraid to ask for more, because we got to push the limits.
I mean, I think there's a certain point of it where people don't necessarily understand the scale of numbers to a point. Like they hear million and they think that's a large number, and they're like, that's a lot of money. That's a big number. But like on the big scale of that, $1 million is nothing.
That's definitely a factor. But I think it's funny that like the lawyers even think this is worth their time.
No, and you're right.
They'll get paid.
Like that's the biggest thing to me is like, but not compared to the work that they're going to have to do in order to get.
Wouldn't most often it would be that the settlement would, if they settle, that they wouldn't, even I guess if they didn't settle, that they would be awarded the 5 million, and then usually it would be lawyers' fees on top of it. So the lawyers, are getting paid no matter what. That's not coming out of the settlement. That usually if you secure a settlement, usually quite.
That also depends on many factors, but still, like regardless, whatever the attorney's getting, like it's not going to be enough, I think, to bring a case for 5 million.
All right,
it's just such a small.
All right, so those were just the kind of the funny things that I've been thinking about past week, but into some more serious news. We, in our last regular episode, we were among the
talked about the Bandai Namco.
We were among the hordes of fellow Tarnished singing the praises of FromSoftware and their latest smash hit Elden Ring, which we already mentioned at the top of the episode, has sold over 12 million copies already within its first month. And well, our thoughts like on the finished product, haven't changed. And I would say probably, if anything, our appreciation for the game itself has only increased. And
patches have fixed
in that little time, for technical and otherwise. But it does, it definitely looks like any praise for FromSoftware's development practice, their practices is definitely unfounded, with some current reportings surrounding various complaints made by current and former employees. I gotta admit, as we're trying to be quote unquote professional podcasters, this is not an admission of guilt. We did not get anything wrong. We are never wrong here. But yeah, let's just get into it. It's basically it is more of the same of like we've covered plenty of Western game developers and their absolutely abhorrent work cultures, and things are no different.
As I was saying earlier, with a sales kind of announcing From as one of the elite developers, I think some casual employee mistreatment and brings you right up
comes
with
with
those
the
other guys
territory,
too.
right?
I mean,
it kind of goes hand in hand.
Like we always talk about it, but the like that's just kind of like Eastern job practice at the same time too. Like it's not very like the Japanese work culture is like ridiculous.
That definitely plays a factor as well. But like let's get into like the actual complaints made by the employees on a popular job board in Japan called Career Connection. Some of these messages and complaints dates over a decade ago, suggesting that these practices have been the same essentially for over the years. But currently on Career Connection, FromSoft has a 2.6 out of 5 stars. Employees rated the company 2.2 for job satisfaction, 4.2 for workplace intensity, 2.6 for stress management, and 1.9 for compensation, with annual income at around 3.4 million yen, which comes out to about $29,000 American. The company is based in Tokyo, a city famous for an extremely high cost of living.
That number was shocking to me.
They and even with those raises that Bandai was doing, that was like what, like $5,000 more, something like that. So like take that as like what, like 34 then. That's really nothing. Employees report having worked 40 hours of overtime per month on average. Working conditions seem to be particularly poor for female employees. There are no special treatments or policies for pregnancy and childcare. One designer saying that most females who are about to give birth are expected to leave the company.
Dude,
this is why the government needs to have laws in place that have social safety nets, because relying on corporations anywhere is fucking absurd.
Right.
I'm a little bit surprised Japan doesn't have. I thought the U.S. was the only one that was the only developed country that didn't have paid for.
Maybe we don't put Japan on the developed list.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
I mean the the Japanese market is like the third most traded market, so I would not. I would say that would not be the case.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's true.
There have also been complaints of sexual harassment in the past. However, these instances have been less systemic, but not for a good reason. It's because there are extremely few women who work there.
That's one way to solve your problem. Everyone's harassing women.
No women work here now.
Very American fix. So Japan does have guaranteed maternity leave. So what that From must be doing
from
is
the government does it. So bye.
Well, no. So what you're allowed to come back with the guaranteed maternity leave, and it's I don't know if it's paid or not. I didn't get that far, but so what From must be doing is just having like a silent rule that like we're gonna like hire someone in your position while you're gone, and you're not allowed back.
Yeah, there are soft ways to oust somebody from an employee. Unspoken policies for sure. Yeah, obviously that's nothing new. So what else can you say besides that's bad? Treat your employees better. Hire. I was gonna say hire more women. Don't harass them.
2 weeks with a bunch of studios you wouldn't expect to hear that about, having that stuff come out, because like you had FromSoftware, Moon Studios, the Ori and the Blind Forest people. They had a couple workplace issues starting to come to light. Continuing workplace issues from 343 Studios just keep popping up because the Halo Infinite debacle is continuing.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's weird that both those studios are also owned by Microsoft, and people championing all these purchases by Microsoft think it's going to make their workplace culture better.
Yeah, they're such champions for a progressive social culture for sure.
I mean, this just shows again that the video game labor movement is a good case study for gathering worker solidarity
internationally as well. It is a truly global industry.
Exactly. And to, have this ripple effect of, being able to speak up about your corporation and their practices, and, have the media attention on it. Even if it's just like video game journalism, it just shows, the effect of what's going on.
But it could always be worse. You could be a game developer.
Yeah. Moving on to our other, serious topic of the week. But yeah, you could just be say a game developer having, quite another shitty work experience. Imagine for a second,
getting sexually harassed.
Yeah, which would you choose?
Not getting paid enough to exist.
Yeah, which would you choose? Yeah, which would you choose at the moment? Yeah, being say sexually harassed. I mean, neither of them sound very good right now.
Oh no, you could be doing that and getting shelled.
Yeah, by just a bunch of confused Russian teenagers. You're just sitting away at your desk, turning out the latest mobile game schlock, and just the air raid sirens go off. You got to hide under your desk. Got to hide under your standing desk to
duck and cover.
Duck.
Yeah, but there's the reality that many international game developers have offices and contractors working in Ukraine. So the industry has gathered its ranks to stand in, I'm going to put quote unquote solidarity with the Ukrainian people. There are two sides of it. And the one that I really want to talk about is the series of publishers supporting Ukraine by cutting off all sales to Russia. It's super like cool. What? It's like, I mean, one, it's some lib shit, it's your classic, let the market speak. Market, some like, classic market pressure.
Yeah, and take away the like last forms of entertainment for like the innocent Russian people that are just trying to fucking survive.
I get it. Like, yeah, in the scope of things, Russians finding it a bit harder to play their games is a very small problem. But like, who exactly is this helping? And and who is it meant to punish? I think we can all be in agreement here that pretty much all sanction practices are forms of, in reality, just civilian warfare. But in this isn't taking food out of anybody's mouth. It's taking the game out of your hands. But how does this help Ukraine? How does this hurt Russia?
It's part of a series of things that has been going on with
the gamers will overthrow Putin. I don't know what's hard to get about this. They're gonna get so mad.
They're combining a couple things there. They took 5 Doritos out of the Dorito bag. I mean, you're starting to put some pressure on there.
Careful, everybody. The next international is going to be gamers. But yeah, I guess you're kind of right, Rick. Putin, in response, it's part of the point where, again, this is so stupid to me. Putin immediately unilaterally eases copyright restrictions, making it easier for Russians to pirate and get bootleg copies of all the different types of entertainment getting cut off. Because it's true, they're just as brain rotten as the rest of us here in the West. You can't turn off the content spigot.
Yeah, they need the slot.
Yeah, you can't let that go. You can't let that run dry. So. But again, it gets to my point. That's all for show. Then what the fuck does that do? They're obviously making the calculus. It's yeah, we're losing out on sales in Russian markets, however big that might be, and we're oh yeah, but we'll make it up in good PR and goodwill in NATO allied countries and shit like that. Our sales in Finland, man, are gonna go fucking through the roof,
skyrocket, going to the moon.
So. I don't know, it's stupid, but so the growing list of all these companies that have done this include, the big boys, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, EA, Take-Two, but then you get independent ones like Activision Blizzard, Epic, Ubisoft, and CD Projekt Red. I mean, they're Polish. They've got some feelings tied up over there, so.
Listen, no one's attacking,
but it's not just video games too. I think Matt, you're the one who found this. It's even hitting tabletop and wargaming. Games Workshop. I mean, not surprised there. They're British sickos, so they're going to do anything as antagonistic as possible.
Tally ho, chaps! It's time to start a world war.
Righto.
No, but what's crazy to me is like this isn't government sanctions like we're traditionally used to. These are private entities,
it's cancel culture.
Putting sanctions, eventually putting sanctions on these countries, and these are just entertainment, but it's also companies like Visa and MasterCard had
all the major financial institutions.
Yeah. Twitch wasn't paying out Russian streamers.
Well, that's another perfect example. It's like, who is that punishing? Like those Russian streamers.
It's like, just punishing these random innocent people for no fucking reason other than to virtue signal to the capital in America.
Streaming on Twitch who's Russian must be a propaganda agent for the state. So by not paying out their subbies and donos, we're striking we're striking a blow against the Kremlin.
But again, like it's private corporations doing it. It's not even the fucking US government doesn't even have to do anything. They because the private corporations want this PR and like they don't want to get canceled. Their fear is getting canceled. So they fucking
Uncle Joe is just asleep at the wheel. Is like, listen, Mac, I'm just busy driving my cars. You can drive your online cars all you want. Like,
sorry, did you say Mac? McDonald's isn't in Russia anymore either. They have the new McDonald's with the sideways arch logo. Have you seen that?
I think I've seen it.
Look that up, everyone who hasn't seen that right now, because it's fucking hilarious.
All right. So, but then there are like, then there's the other side, companies, racing, admittedly quite a bit of money. However, my question is, there are certain people, like, I guess, most of these companies they're making, their own charitable donations, which, cha-ching, huge tax write-off. Thank you very much. But doing actual effective stuff for Ukrainian people on the ground. What are you laughing at?
Matt sent the Russian fast food chain.
Maybe we gotta make that the episode art.
I'm just picturing all of the McDonald's logos having a crane over them, just pulling the logo up and then just turning it 90 degrees and just remounting it.
We put that as the cover art. We're just gonna get canceled, so maybe it'll make us go viral. So fucking do it.
It's when are they going to stop giving games to us in America, though? Like, we do all the same war crimes that Russia's doing. I don't...
Worse.
Just cover it up a little bit better.
Yeah, they're never going to turn off the slop chain to us little piggies. To us little piggies here in the West, that would signal the end.
Yeah, that's mutually assured destruction.
Sony did its part. Sony did its part these past 2 weeks with giving us not one but two state of plays, holding us over to. Which again I think is unnecessary because there are so many fucking new games out right now. It's absurd.
Yeah, it was a little weird to see a second one announced right after the first one.
Yeah, that was wild.
I'll agree with that.
Was wild to me.
I was sitting there and it's like, oh, and it's for Harry Potter and EA? That's a weird combo.
So the first one that happened not this week, but the week before, you guys have in the show notes here the full list. We don't need to really go through the whole thing. Just anything that stuck out to you. We got we got more Forspoken footage that also, corresponded with the announcement that's getting pushed back to October.
Yes.
Again, I'm fine with that. It's one that I was kind of looking forward to.
Yeah, it's still I think the newer trailers have actually done a lot better at showcasing the game without some of the like cringy dialogue being the
main focus. Yeah. We've got plenty of games to play. Give the devs as much time as they need to fine tune it. We're always on board for a polished and finished product. So I'm all good with that.
It was definitely a backloaded state of play for me. Like, I know a lot of people got their what was it, Exoprimal? Yeah, they got their Dino Crisis.
So fucking weird. Explain that to me.
So there are two things. First, everyone was expecting it to be Dino Crisis, and we're getting really excited, and then it wasn't Dino Crisis, and they got their hopes and dreams stomped out. And two, that game gives me some weird vibes, man. I watched that trailer, and I was like, dude, those are exosuits from Anthem. I don't know why you're copying the Anthem model for something like that. Like, that's a really scary proposition, because that was a really bad game.
People hated that game.
Did you actually play it?
I did not.
Oh.
I read enough reviews to know.
I tried a demo, and it was like you know how people are like, oh my God, Elden Ring's a stuttery mess. Go play the demo from Anthem when that thing came out. I couldn't get that thing to run at like 20 frames per second on a 1080 at the time. Like, Jesus Christ.
That's a looter shooter, right?
Yeah.
It looked kind of cool visually.
Other big ones were more footage for Ghostwire Tokyo.
I'm still quietly excited for that.
I'm like, kind of, the fact that it's first person for me is just like, bleh, I don't care.
I think that's either going to make or break it. I think it's either going to really work or it's really not going to.
Like, shooters are like the only game for me that I can stand first person.
Well, that's a Bethesda studio, right?
I don't think so.
I think it's one of those Bethesda subsidiaries.
I'm looking it up, but were there other ones?
It's got that DNA all over it.
Making Ghostwire?
Tango Game.
I didn't know that.
Is a Japanese developer based in Tokyo. Previously,
I thought that was
from Capcom. I'm not finding. Oh wait, hold on. Yes, I just saw something about Bethesda Softworks and ZeniMax.
Yeah, there it is.
So American video game publisher Bethesda Softworks stepped in to assist and had its parent company ZeniMax acquire the studio in 2010. Yeah. Okay.
Because I remembered around the time of the acquisition, that was the funny thing, because Ghostwire and Deathloop were both marketed as Sony console exclusive.
I thought so. That's not a Sony studio then, is it? I thought Ghostwire was.
It's a Sony console exclusive, but it's still coming to PC. That one's on Steam too, so that's not one of those funky Epic exclusives.
Got it.
That was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So that's a collection.
Cowabunga.
That's the Cowabunga collection. You're gonna get
righteous.
Anybody gonna get that? Anybody gonna snag that?
No,
I was a big turtle head as a kid.
I loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I was a TMNT
show
for sure.
And the old movies, but the games, fuck no, those were so hard.
Yeah, I never played any of them.
I'm just having nightmares from the Elden Ring meme I sent you of the guy who is Michelangelo.
Yeah,
running around becoming an Elden Lord.
I was laughing. I spent most of the time laughing that they're making Gundam into Overwatch.
Oh my God, the free to play Gundam watch.
It looks so bad.
Yeah,
it looks.
When they said free to play, I was like, okay, at least they can justify why it looks this bad.
All right, so the last two I think that were of any note were the two Square Enix ones at the end. Matt, as our resident JRPG sicko, what I gotta defer to you.
Before I go sicko on some Square Enix JRPGs, just a quick shout out, free update to Returnal, really cool. Housemarque Studios still doing really cool stuff, adding multiplayer to that, and the Tower of Sisyphus that came out, super fun, really cool game. I'm really upset I forgot to mention that in my top games of 22 or 21.
Returnal, I've played some of, and it's a lot of fun. I'm
fully tarnished. That's a game that we should multiplayer sometime.
Yeah, Rick. How many quick divergence? How many open games do you have right now?
So many. At least 5. Okay. Realistically, 5. Like it's probably 7 or 8, really. But like, if you go back only 3 months, it's like 5.
That's not horrible. I still need to finish Forgotten City. That one's bothering me. I need to cross that one off my list. But yeah, we were talking about the last two Square Enix JRPGs, Diofield Chronicle and Valkyrie Elysium. Diofield Chronicle, I actually really dig that aesthetic. Still my type of game. That's That one got me really excited.
That's the turn-based one, right?
Yeah.
3D turn-based.
Yeah. That like I really enjoy when Square Enix makes those types of games. I think they do that really well. I think the funky translated dialogue always is like charming to me. I really get that. The next one, Valkyrie Elysium, I was really expecting that to be a Drakengard game because it looked like a Yoko Taro Square Enix combo. Like they already did Nier Automata and they just re-released Nier Replicant, so it makes sense that they would do a Drakengard continuation because that's where the Nier series gets its roots. But like it looked interesting. It looked a little
things. They just go. Ooh,
yep.
Right over my
The
head.
things I'm saying are for other people because
Yeah, they're not for me. I can tell you that much. It's a.
you
I
should
know part
play
of it
Nier
is
Automata.
another
Mike.
language.
I think you'd really like Nier Automata.
I would. I need more time.
I know. I get it.
More time to exist.
Yeah, I get it.
Need more time.
But that looked interesting enough. Like I'll definitely probably buy that game. I'd like to see more before I determine if it's a game I'd buy around its release or if it's something I'd wait for like 50% off sale, like I did with Scarlet Nexus, which was like a fun little like throwaway JRPG to play, but like definitely not worth $60.
Do you have a preference between turn-based or live action combat?
I don't have a preference, but I do like to kind of play them together in a way. Like I like to play like heavy live action combat games, like a FromSoft game, and then like palate cleanse myself with a nice like turn-based JRPG.
Okay.
Because that like just like a different flow of gameplay.
There, some of the Final Fantasies are like.
I mean, most of them are
Turn-based or
turn-based.
closer
in
to
their
turn-based,
origins,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty much all turn-based until you get to really 13, I guess. I've never really played 13 that much. 15 is not turn-based, but like, yeah, turn-based combat was like the bread and butter.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Except for the spin-off, Stranger of Paradise, which is a Neo clone with some Final Fantasy skin on it, which my copy showed up today. I'll probably try that out over the weekend along with the Mario Kart because
as someone who's never played Final Fantasy games, I'm very interested in Stranger of Paradise, but like I want to get your thoughts after you've played a little bit to see like will any of it land for me, like having no concept of like everything it's
that's
trying to
kind of the
reference.
cool thing about this is a recreation. Well, first of all the Final Fantasy games, they're not really connected.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only games that are connected are 10 and 10-2, 13 13-2, and then the aptly named Lightning Returns, because that's how you do naming convention when you work at Square Enix.
Lightning Returns. Story.
But like this is a retelling
of
the first Final Fantasy story. So I think that'll be like I don't think there's too much to miss there. I'm interested because I just recently played the Pixel remaster of Final Fantasy 1 to see how much of it I can like connect and bring together.
Yeah, so this is also technically not off topic because this was also something featured at this state of play. It was, aired prior to launch. When we're recording is the day of launch day, right? It came out today.
Jack, you don't even know if chaos is real. Bullshit. Puts sunglasses on and walks away.
Just puts his little Bluetooth headphones in, starts blasting like new metal.
Swedish death metal.
Amazing. Like there's so much of the meme ability of the story that's
absolutely what I'm interested in that game too.
Experience it.
Also has multiplayer, super cool.
We definitely are gonna have to do a deep dive episode into the death of couch co-op and multiplayer.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Or like action adventure multiplayer. All right.
But then we have the other state of play.
Yeah. So are you all ready for the discourse? Have you dipped your toe?
Have we all watched? Are we all up to date?
Dipped your toe in yet? Because it was. I was honestly a little surprised that I watched the state of play on stream live, and was looking online afterwards, and it took a couple hours for the discourse to, it took some time for people to write like, their 10,000 word think
Hot
pieces
takes.
on it. Some were fine, some are good, but just the discourse, it's
most
just
of what I saw on Reddit was a lot of really happy people, but I also put that to a lot of really happy people pushing a lot of really happy people up. The unhappy people were kind of pushed away and downvoted and hiding in the cellar.
The libs on Reddit, like, they rose up.
Yeah.
For Harry Potter.
Yeah. No, that was absolutely part of it.
So the discourse that I am, alluding to is the ever increasing shadow of, blatant hatred and transphobia that J.K. Rowling just continues to kind of blight us all with, and how anytime any HP property, people will say like, oh, she has ostensibly nothing to do this one, like, as this is, an indication is not true. It continues to, propel her into the spotlight and to give voice to her truly onerous abilities. We'll just say right here that campaign comrades say that trans rights are human rights, and JK is a fucking scumbag. And it's unfortunate to see on some level, to see like the passion project of some of these devs that just get kind of shit all over.
I mean, yeah, they interviewed the devs afterwards, and there seemed to be a lot of passion behind some of them when they were talking about it. A lot of gusto.
But the reality is like, you can't get away from her at this time. People will make the, separate the art from the artist type of shit, but it's like, from someone who is, still actively benefiting from this, whether financially or kind of platform wise.
Clout.
Yeah, for the clout, because like people are like, well, one, she will still see money from this. There's no, like, she still is involved in that level. She will still see money from this. She's still at the head of the franchise.
Yeah,
she just had no role in the story or anything like this. And for me, understanding that, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, I'm not concerned about people's individual consumption choices. I'm not going to judge anybody for choosing to play this game. And I also understand that, me purchasing this game or not is not going to affect her bottom line. She's a fucking billionaire. This means nothing to her. Where it really is it again is constantly putting her name in the spotlight, giving more eyeballs to her blatant, hatred and despising. Like,
hey, she's just trying to protect women, man.
It's
right?
it's really shitty. But like, she's even gone on and said that like the continued popularity of the franchise is proof that people agree with her. So she's using and will use the success of this game to continue spouting all this shit.
That sucks. That sucks that she said that. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't even really know about these takes of hers, to be honest. Like, I think I know
people don't even know what a
about
TERF is.
Exactly. Like, we know about it and we hear about it in the circles that we're in terms of like social media, etc. But like, I don't know that the layman is aware of J.K. Rowling just being like a completely hateful, spiteful person.
One of her recent Twitter battles, I don't know the substance of it because I didn't look that far into it, but it was with Vosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that one was trending for several days.
Yeah, that did trend.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
He like told her to shut up, and she said something like, I've had like abusive partners or whatever, like try to silence me before, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
No defense of Vosh either, but like,
no,
I don't care. I personally don't care.
The thing that sucks is like, it's still so vastly popular, and like, as we've talked about with IP and things like that, like, there's just going to continue to be more Harry Potter things made. There's way too much of an audience across the globe that is hungry to just give their money up for
Beasts, fucking the third installment.
The third installment with the third character playing the bad guy.
Adventures.
I am going to be very interested in what the box office for that is, though.
I mean, if it's
It
following the
doesn't
trend,
matter.
it's going to
Doesn't
be
matter.
downward.
You're right. It does.
matter,
You're right. You're
Because
correct.
You know where they're gonna make their money? They're gonna make their money in the toys and
Right.
shit.
Yeah,
That's
and
where
just
they
like
make their money.
I mean, the
Doesn't
funny
fucking
part
matter
is
what the box office is.
this game looked like more
Just
of a
propels
Fantastic
the
Beasts
toys.
game than any of the movies have been.
Yeah. So what any thoughts on the actual gameplay? Because I mean, again, we don't need to give any airtime to to her other than to say that she sucks and it sucks that you know buying into this and playing this game that supports her in any way is shitty. But again, I'm not going to judge what you, because she's gonna continue doing it. It's whether you purchase this or not, it's gonna have no impact on that. So
she got the bag. She could fund a whole
yeah,
campaign.
do what you
own.
will. No judgment here. It's just
You see, like I know I gave my opinions a bit on stream yesterday, so I'll cede to people to go ahead of me before I restate what I've said before.
But yeah, any thoughts on what the actual game looks like?
I thought that it looked like a shittier version of Elden Ring without swords.
You need to.
So I'm
you're,
not.
You're going to
anymore.
you're going to need to take your tarnished glasses off occasionally when other games come out. It's okay. It happens.
It'll ruin. Yeah.
After I played Bloodborne, there weren't like action games afterwards that were like, oh, these are fast and punchy. It's like, no, they're not. You don't have a giant 40-foot skeleton beast running around so fast that if you lock onto him, you get motion sickness.
I don't think it looked great.
Well, the stream itself fucking sucked.
Yeah, I said it yesterday that I'm not going to judge it based on the stream itself. I'm going to wait until they upload the full quality video so we don't have to deal with like bitrate bullshit, because it definitely was choppy to watch the playback of the stream. I think that was partially on the stream, but I'll wait until I watch the full upload and see, if that's actually gameplay stutter or if that's just the bitrate on the stream having issues.
I thought it looked like it had good RPG elements. There
was lots
that
of
worked natively well with the IP. I'll take, so that's fine. My judgment on it though would have to be held like, my focus these days now, like my mental obsession is quest design, is how they particularly with an open world. Be on the lookout for episode detailing open worlds coming to you soon. It's all about how they let your freedom work with the elusive bit of emergent gameplay and all that, but just how they build the world with their missions. And
in the vein of that, when they showed the room of requirement and they showed the little timer, I was sitting there, I was like, oh, that's got to be microtransaction city. That's got to be paid up. Yeah,
people were worried about that. They did come out now today.
And then they said, nope, no microtransactions,
no
which I always hate the fact that has to be announced, especially because it doesn't always mean
so
anything.
There was that good announcement, no microtransactions, but no multiplayer.
No multiplayer at all.
None.
Yeah.
It is a single person. It is a single person adventure. I mean, I don't agree with that. I think there are plenty of purely single person games. Most of the games I play are purely single person.
Yeah.
No, I just feel like it would be
for sure
multiplayer game.
For sure.
There were rumors initially that it started out as an MMO where it was like go to Hogwarts with your friends and shit. But
I don't know about
the development choices were changed.
Yeah, no, me neither. But yeah.
I thought there was a Harry Potter MMO already. Is there not? Maybe it was something like, maybe it was this.
The only Harry Potter games I know of is the weird Harry Potter Pokemon Go clone, and then all of the games from like the PS2 PC era back then.
Yeah.
Which that was actually something I wanted to bring up, was that I did appreciate that the inside of the castle kind of maintained a similar layout to those games. Kind of felt like a blown up iteration of what they were before. My biggest complaint, as I said on the stream, was when they showed the group combat, it just felt really stiff. Like when you were fighting like 4 dark wizards and you've got one of them levitated in the air, his buddies are just standing there waiting their turn. Like,
Yeah, I thought the combat looked
lots of flourishes, lots of
something that really
lots of
bugged
twirls and wand flourishes, but yeah, everybody else is just standing there like an NPC, halfway clipping.
Yeah,
clipping
like
through
occasionally,
the,
like one will throw
the
something
hedge.
for you to deflect at the other one already, because like that seems to be the because it's magic. Obviously, it seems to be there's going to be some sort of parry
the shield
system.
mechanic is going to be a big one. But I guess we'll just leave it there that, you know, everybody is going to have to make their own decision when it comes to this game. And again, I hold no judgments to where anybody lands on it. You know, it's
unless you agree with.
Oh yeah,
J.K.
fuck you,
Rowling,
fuck you. I don't give a fucking
because
shit.
you
Yeah,
agree with J.K. Rowling. Yeah. Okay.
I hope you get owned in the game, of course.
yeah.
I hope
And
the
marketplace
evil
of
goblin
ideas.
dude whose teeth look like a PS2 JPEG.
Yeah, no, the you know, the racism and the anti-Semitism remain strong as ever. We personally love to see it. All right.
Just for
When is this game
clarification, we
set?
don't
1800s.
people who can't pick up sarcasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think we covered a lot today. This was a good one though. Any personal plugs? Anybody's got going on?
I mean,
Check out the stream.
Yeah, just find us on Twitch.
Yeah, follow us.
We've been playing some Psychonauts and some
yeah, that's what my
Elden Ring.
current stream game right now. It won't last long. But yeah, follow us at twitch.tv/campaign_comrades. Also good to give us a follow on Twitter at CamComPod. It's the best way to find out when new episodes are dropping, as well as, you know, when
shout out to Brian. What was it? Brian 1234.
It was like 142 something. It was I thought it was 1234.
No, shout out to Brian.
It was enough of a variation that
he dropped the follow, so he gets the in-name shout out.
But yeah, until next time. Bye bye.